welcome. Well, joining me now is Genpact Chairman Pramod Bhasin. Pramod, thank you very much for speaking with us. So, what are the cool or not so cool gadgets that you're carrying or wearing more appropriately?
It's a very embarrassing answer. Yeah. I'm still using a Blackberry. I'm a true antique.
And why is that?
You know, I actually find that I'm getting overwhelmed by the amount of data and information coming at me.
Right.
So I'm actually trying to manage it. So I have my emails on one device, which I don't carry with me all the time. I have most of my notifications shut off, so it's not pinging me all times, you know. And I've restricted it just because I find it's somewhat overwhelming. And I think we need to think about our habits because we're all so addicted to our phones. It's beginning to get in the way of meetings and discussions because everybody's half the time on the phone, you know.
Right, right. So, I mean, it's an interesting point that you're saying that you're overwhelmed, and that's really, I guess, what's happening with all the companies that you work with, your clients, the entire ecosystem, right?
Yes.
Everyone wants more of everything now, and that's putting demands on you as a company as well.
That's putting demands on us as a company, but equally, it's also overcrowding your ability to make good decisions because you're getting too much stuff coming at you, perhaps without all the filters that you were used to earlier. And that is making it hard to discern what is important and what is not.
Right. So how do you help companies or your clients navigate this world?
You know, from our perspective, Genpact still runs the largest analytics forum there is and has been doing so for 12 years. I'm a non-exec vice chairman, so I don't get into the detail, but they've been running that analytics base for it. And two, it's also by looking at, you know, what really matters. So if you're looking at an end-to-end process, if you're looking at a technology, what are the 5 things or 8 things that really matter as opposed to the plethora of information you're collecting? You know, people collect data if you talk about Internet of Things, if you talk about how internets are connecting with each other and with people. The amount of data you collect is so enormous. But the old 80-20 rule still applies. You know, 5 of those matter, the others you can ignore.
Right. So, you know, we're talking about shaping the digital future. So, as we sort of build this construct, what are the 2 or 3 things that matter the most? I'm guessing that now managing information in all its entirety and enormity itself is a challenge or an opportunity.
Managing it, I think we will build automation, digitization platforms. I think we'll build enormous databases which will help us manage the data. But I think insight matters the most to me, if I may use that word. That's always mattered. It's not new news. But the reason you need insight now is because you're getting so much thrown at you. So the ability to differentiate between what is really important and what is not. You know, I'll tell you an old story. It's very, very, very odd. So for instance, I'm taking a very mundane examples deliberately. So, you know, if you're trying to collect money from people and you put a target to people which says you get an incentive for the amount of money you've collected, the most, you will get one result. Whereas the result you want is actually the opposite. You want to collect the toughest money first. What you're doing is incentivizing people the other way. So we make a lot of mistakes when we look at a lot of data. And those mistakes can be extremely costly. You know, I shouldn't say this on this program, but look at what happened with AAP and BJP in Delhi. Right? There's a lot of mistakes being made as to what is trending, what is important, versus what really matters. So I think to me, insight remains and has become even more importantly the toughest issue. How are we going to get that insight? I think by a set of people sitting around and saying you can use algorithms, you can use predictive analytics, you can use a variety of techniques. But it's going to have to be a bunch of people sitting around and saying, I've got all this data, now I'm going to plow through it and I'm going to build an algorithm which tells me that whatever output I want to achieve, which corresponding pieces of data most correlate with that output.
Right.
Once you've got that, then I think you've got sense out of this madness.
So tell me 3 challenges and there's opportunities you see at an India level, either at an India enterprise level or an India country level.
Yes. Oh, at the India enterprise level and the country level, I don't think we've begun to think about modern analytics to sell products. So, who buys what perfume or design or shoes and why, right? Who walks into a mall? If you talk to mall owners today and ask them, who's your audience? Why are they there? Where do they come from, right? I don't think most of them can give you a factual database answer, right?
But and you're also saying technology can fix that,
absolutely,
or at least try and fix that.
You can give it people as they walk in through your mall. You can give them an incentive and say, just fill in this form, sir. You'll get 10% off the next product here. You can give people a chance. For instance, one of the ideas I've always had is you walk into a mall and you have a digital platform where you can do shopping at all the stores around you. Go have a coffee. The packages are ready, and when you go and collect them. This is not e-commerce, but it's making shopping in a mall easier. In that time, you collect data on who buys what.
So one challenge is, you said, knowing your customer better, and that itself is, we are just beginning.
We're just beginning.
Okay.
Two will be actually investing in technology. I mean, Indian companies still, apart from the e-commerce and startups, investments by Indian companies in technology is very low. So it's still very much khata based. It's quite hilarious, of course. I shouldn't say this about my own company, but we talk about technology and process management, but if you try and walk through that guard of ours, he's still got the old-fashioned book, and you write your name and you sign your signature. There's no digital signature there. So I think investment in technology certainly we're way ahead, but by domestic industry, to automate what they do, analyze their receivables, analyze their information. Which part of the country do I sell more goods in? So apart from knowing your customer, it's just very basic dashboards and data. I think that is a continue. The last one is a broader issue, which it is just broadband, Wi-Fi. We make a lot of
and you've been consistently campaigning on this for years,
But if I don't have Wi-Fi and I can't access broadband at my dealerships, how do I get information from there to some central place fast? How do I decide what to stock where, or who's selling what, or what the last issue is? How do I do all these things? Broadband is a highway. Old cliche. It's a highway. Old cliche, completely true. And no private provider is going to put broadband in the last mile. It doesn't pay. The government has to do it. Do it in schools, do it in colleges, do it in public areas for free. Let people use it. Let people understand how to use it. It would be fantastic.
Right.
I hope it happens soon.
In our collective lifetimes. Right? So, last question. What's the one thing that you're excited about in the context of a digital future or a digital economy?
Oh, yeah. I think we have the greatest talent pool of people to attack and make opportunity out of this digital economy. Not just in India, but in the world. I really think we should own it. We should own the digital services marketplace. And we should own it in a way that either we are serving them or coming up with new products and services or coming up with new ideas. I would launch, if I could do one thing, I would launch a massive education effort on the digital world across India. And let people become entrepreneurs, come up with apps, come up with ideas, sell them across the world, take them internationally. I mean, there's nothing to stop someone in Raipur from building a fabulous agricultural app, which is then sold around the world.
Right.
That's what India can do.
Right. Good note to end on. Thank you so much, Pramod Bhasin,
Pleasure.
for speaking with us.
Pleasure.
Thank you.